Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. Welcome back for another video. What we're going to do today is we're going to be breaking down our college football matchups, and the matchup that we're going to be specifically focusing on today is going to be our Clemson Tigers visiting and playing the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. This game is going to be on ESPN at 12 p.m. this coming Saturday. It's ACC versus ACC. We're going to completely break down this matchup, the rosters, the coaching, the offense, the defense, and try to predict the outcome. Who's going to win it? Who's going to be the loser, and what the final score might be. We'll also be taking an in-depth look at our best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. If you are a sports fan, if you are a football fan, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out the pinned comment down below. Click on that link. You can sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate it. We go over all these matchups every day. Like I said, make sure you're following along with us. So this is ACC versus ACC. You have one team that's coming in here limping into this game. You have one team that's coming in here. They have some injuries, but they're playing extremely good football right now. The Clemson Tigers. The Clemson Tigers started out, they were one of those week one matchups, top 10 versus top 10. They were playing LSU. They lost at home. They lost at their home stadium, and they haven't quite rebounded from that. They played Troy last week, not the best overall matchup. They were down like 16-3 at halftime. How on earth does that happen coming off of a loss that you were favored in? Clemson was some people's front runner to win, not just play in, but win the national championship this season. So far, a little disappointing, but the season is very early. There's a lot of talent on this team, and this is one of the more veteran, experienced rosters in the country. They still have a lot of ground to make up. They still have a lot of room to rebound, get things back on track, and thankfully for them, they play in the ACC, so everything is still in front of them. There's no reason to panic right now, but you have to be aware of what's going on right now. Obviously, Clemson, Klubnik, one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the nation. He has some of the most snaps of anyone. Who has more snaps than him? Maybe Drew Waller. That's about it. He may have the most snaps in the entire country. He's been around for a while, third, four-year starter, a lot of reps under his belt. Year 3 with Garrett Riley, threw for 36 touchdowns last year, 6 picks. He was lighting it up. People really were expecting him to take some massive strides forward. He was the Heisman frontrunner this season. What happened to him? Where's that offensive line? They had a top 10 offensive line, a lot of reps under their belt as well. They were a unit. They started all the games last season together. The offensive line hasn't been holding up. They haven't been getting pushed. They haven't been opening up lanes. The Clemson running game has been atrocious this season. The leading running back is a converted wide receiver. It's going to be very hard to win these competitive matchups when you cannot consistently run the ball. We all know the running game leads to the play action. That's how teams work. It goes round and round. They all work together. Very talented young wide receiver corps, but you have to get that run game in the game plan. And of course, they're going to be in Atlanta versus the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Let's give a shout out to Brent Key, what he has been able to build with this roster. This is an extremely physical team. They might not have the talent that the Clemson Tigers have, but they definitely have the physicality. They have the toughness at the line of scrimmage. Clemson, big lines, big offensive line, big defensive front seven. They brought over Allen from Penn State, one of the best defensive minds in college football. Then you have Dabo sitting there, multiple national championships. But Brent Key, he's letting you know he's going to drain the clock. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball efficiently, and they're going to run it a lot. They're going to play time of possession, keep the ball away from Klubnik's hands, out of the offensive hands of Clemson, and just play small ball. Take it possession by possession. 8 to 10 minute possessions. You got to suck up clock, keep the ball away from Clemson. That is what Georgia Tech excels at. That's the type of football that Brent Key plays. When you're looking at Clemson's roster, obviously you have Klubnik at the quarterback position. The running backs, a lot of question marks here. Randall, David, they got to get the run game going if they have to change some names there, if they have to adapt their gameplay. You just can't go 4 or 5 wideouts. That's not going to work every single game, especially versus Georgia Tech, because they're sucking up so much clock. You also want to keep the ball away from Georgia Tech's hands. You need to make sure that you turn possessions into points, not just field goals. I need to see 7s on the scoreboard. Looking at the wide receivers, a lot of talent here for Clemson. Moore, Wesco Jr., Williams, Smith, Turner, Brown. A lot of great wide receivers. A far more talented wide receiver. I'd say they probably have a top 5, top 10 wide receiver core in the entire nation. We're just not seeing production from that position right now. Looking at Georgia Tech, Jamal Haynes, one of the more underappreciated running backs in the entire country. He's a top 3 running back in the ACC. This guy's a 1,000-yard back. Feed him the ball consistently. Get those first downs. Third and short situations, you don't just have to account for him, you also have to account for the quarterback, Haynes King. He's a man's man type quarterback, like a 1980 style, physical quarterback. He will run the ball for 20 to 25 times per game, and it's brutal runs. He's not just running and sliding. This guy never slides. He's pounding. He's putting his shoulder down. He's fighting and struggling for those yards, but that style of play did force him to have to sit out the last game. They still won it. They won it handedly. He needs to be back to 100%. They don't just need his arm here. They're going to need his legs, especially against this extremely aggressive Clemson front seven. Looking at the wide receivers, Rivers, Canyon, Rutherford, but it's all going to come down to Haynes King and his legs on the field. That's what's going to make the difference here. Looking at the points for this team, Clemson comes in here. They're only averaging 18.5. Throwing for 213, only running for 75.5. And one of those games was versus Troy. You got to get those numbers up. They are giving up 16.5 points a game. Georgia Tech, 43 points a game. Throwing for 300, running for 271.5, only giving up 60. Obviously, they're averaging almost 600 total yards of offense per game. They're lighting it up, but this is a step up in competition for them. So what outcome do I have? I think this is going to be a very close game. It's going to be decided at the end. Might be the very last possession. I'm going to go with Clemson winning this one 27-23. Very close physical matchup, but for you Georgia Tech fans, I'm going to say it like this. I honestly think you have a real shot to walk away with the win here. If Georgia Tech wins this game, I would in no way be surprised. They are talented. I think it's a 50-50 chance. Flip a coin. That's who's going to get the W here. Georgia Tech, the hotter team right now. Clemson, the more talented team. Talent doesn't always win, though. Georgia Tech, if you control time of possession, I think you walk away with the win. I don't want to bet on this game. That's how close this game is. It's a very difficult game to call. If Clemson plays the way their talent is, if they play up to the level of talent they have on their roster, they can get the W here. But if they play down again, Georgia Tech, they're going to walk away with the upset win. And how the heck is Georgia Tech not ranked now? That's a travesty. That is anti-ACC bias. They should already be top 25.